Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive shift in the architecture, engineering, and construction world. We all know building information modeling, or BIM, is totally reshaping the industry. But hey, we aren't here to just define it. We're looking at how you actually transition from learning about buildings in a classroom to digitally executing them in the real world. This is all about taking your career to the next level by mastering the practical, in-demand workflows the industry is literally desperate for right now. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the education reality gap, core technical BIM skills, beyond the software, why the industry cares, and finally, your career roadmap. This maps out our entire journey across the bridge from classroom theory straight to real-world global career opportunities. Section 1. The education reality gap. You know, it's completely normal to feel a bit of anxiety when you're a fresher stepping out of academia and looking at the sheer, massive scale of the actual construction industry. So ask yourself this right now. Are you relying on theory alone? Because honestly, if you're just memorizing concepts from a textbook, you're going to hit a wall. Graduates know the theory, sure, but they're stepping into interviews without the practical tools the industry is actually using today. There is a really stark difference between these two worlds. I mean, academic theory heavily focuses on abstract concepts, traditional 2D drafting, and studying in your own little bubble. But out in the real world, live projects demand a completely different skill set. You're dealing with complex consultant workflows, performing digital clash detection, and delivering actual commercial and residential buildings. Knowing the theory is a great foundation, absolutely. But to be job ready, you desperately need live project exposure. You have to understand how projects are actually delivered, not just how they're drawn. Moving on to Section 2, core technical BIM skills. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that to bridge that gap from theory to live projects, you need to understand the workflow ecosystem, not just isolated software. Companies expect freshers to walk in already knowing how these tools talk to each other. Revit is your absolute powerhouse for 3D modeling and documentation, while Navisworks is essential for model coordination and clash detection. AutoCAD is still there, of course, but now it integrates with broader workflows. Then there's BIM 360, bringing in cloud collaboration, which is basically the backbone of how modern teams actually communicate. And finally, Techless Structures handles specific steel detailing workflows. The key takeaway? You don't just learn the software, you learn the workflow it unlocks. Section 3, beyond the software. Listen, software alone won't save you if you don't understand how buildings actually go together. You could literally be a wizard in Revit, but if you don't understand the physical building components, like columns, beams, slabs, foundations, or if you don't grasp basic MEP systems and construction sequencing, your model is practically useless. Foundational construction knowledge is absolutely mandatory to make these digital models actually work in the physical world. There's this incredibly true saying in the industry. Construction is teamwork disguised as chaos management. Think about it. A live project site has design conflicts, massive space constraints, sudden site changes, and unavoidable delays. It is a high-pressure environment for sure. And that is exactly why your non-technical human skills are just as critical as your ability to run a digital clash detection test. You have to be able to manage the chaos. So to manage that chaos, you need elite coordination. It relies heavily on interdisciplinary communication. You've got the architect, the structural engineer, and the MEP teams all trying to fit their work into the exact same physical space. A BIM professional often spends just as much time explaining a problem clearly to these different teams via email or in meetings as they do actually finding the problem in the software. You really need a problem-solving mindset to adapt to site changes on the fly. And while you're busy doing all that communicating, remember this. Deadlines in construction are not soft suggestions. Time management is simply non-negotiable. You're going to be managing multiple tasks, handling constant revisions, and you absolutely have to hit your model deadlines. If the digital model is late, the physical concrete pours might be late, and guys, that costs real money. To keep all of this from completely falling apart, the industry relies on strict standards. You need to be aware of the rule books that keep the chaos structured and professional. We're talking about standards like ISO 19650, understanding the LOD or level of development, following the BIM execution plan, and sticking rigidly to naming conventions. These aren't just bureaucratic red tape. They are the shared language that lets global teams build digital structures together without the whole thing devolving into a mess. All right, Section 4, why the industry cares. Ultimately, building information modeling is the intersection of design, construction execution, data management, and digital workflows. So the crucial point is this: BIM is not just a software skill. It's part engineering, part project management, and part digital transformation. It directly connects your technical skills to real-world project execution. And here's the massive payoff for the industry. Companies hire BIM professionals because it results in fundamentally better project coordination. By building the project digitally first, they drastically reduce errors and rework on the physical site. This leads to faster project delivery, massive cost optimization, and greatly improved team collaboration. These business benefits are exactly why employability completely skyrockets for freshers who understand practical BIM workflows. If an employer sees a candidate who knows how to optimize costs and reduce rework, they're going to hire them on the spot. Let's move to Section 5 and see how this builds into your future, your career roadmap.
There's a very clear, proven progression in the BIM industry. You start as a student or fresher, getting that initial live project exposure. From there, you step into a BIM modeler role, focusing heavily on executing the 3D geometry and data. As you master communication and problem solving, you move up to a BIM coordinator, actively running the clash detections. Then you step up to a BIM lead and eventually a BIM manager or consultant. Notice how over time your responsibilities shift away from daily modeling and move toward high-level project leadership and strategy. You're definitely no longer restricted to just a traditional site engineer or drafting role.
And the best part? This roadmap isn't restricted by geography. Not at all. Mastering BIM standards unlocks massive international opportunities. BIM is widely adopted and mandated in major markets like the United Kingdom, the United States, the UAE, Singapore, and Australia. By speaking this digital language, you can work on international projects or step into highly lucrative outsourcing roles right from your home country. Your career literally goes global. At the end of the day, remember this: together, we build not just structures, but stronger communities and a sustainable future. By reducing waste, optimizing costs, and building smarter, BIM professionals are directly contributing to better hospitals, safer airports, and more sustainable residential communities worldwide. It is a highly impactful career. So, I'll leave you with this final provocative question. Are you ready to stop just understanding 2D drawings and start actually managing digital execution? The industry is moving fast, the tools are out there, and the roadmap is crystal clear. It's time to bridge the gap and start building your modern construction career. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.